So let me go ahead. So this part, yeah, I don't know how to
Okay, so
change
I'll
that
show you.
part.
I just gotta pull it over and then set.
When I edit the video, I'll put like the Jeopardy music
There you go.
while we're waiting. So.
All right, they're all yours.
Okay, so okay, so right here we have our code. It's going to be whenever you join Nearpod, it's going to be W7GHD. Give you guys a little bit of time to do that. So. Okay, how are you guys doing? Do y'all need a little bit more time or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she warned me it takes a little bit to set up
So
sometimes.
remember, you can look at the number down below.
Oh, it's that one right there. Oh, okay.
Yep.
We just need like a few of you guys. I'm not that good of a counter, but I think there's a little bit more than 11. So just a little bit longer for you guys. It's the reason I'm going to teach history, not math. So.
Do you want to write it on the board?
Yeah.
Just like right there is good. And that way you can get started.
All right, so kind of want to go ahead and start off. I want to ask, what exactly do you guys remember from World War One from last year? Do you guys remember anything? Anybody at all? You remember a bit?
I know that it was because the Austrian prince was killed.
It's pretty good. It's not as discussed as World War II, especially in like media or anything like that. So we're going to be reviewing a couple of things that you guys may have picked up on last year for the causes of World War I, okay? So just to kind of have a little bit of fun, I have a couple of icebreakers here. If you guys want to kind of pick one of these questions just to answer, I want at least 3 of them before we continue. So the questions here are going to be, what is your favorite holiday? What's your favorite scary movie? And if you could have a superpower, what would it be? So, by a show of hands, anybody want to volunteer?
The Shining.
The Shining. It's actually not a bad one. I haven't seen it, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
The book's better.
The book's better. Yes.
Time manipulation.
Time manipulation. Is there a reason?
I want to go back to where one of my family members was while having active to have more time with them.
Fill that one, actually. I can. Yes.
All the paranormal activity movies.
Ooh, it's not a bad. You know, when I remember I was a little kid when they first came out. It's probably like 7 or 8. I don't know if you can say that's little, but I was terrified, and I actually thought they were real. I thought they were real movies. They just happened to be, lost footage movies. So mine, I'll pick one myself. If I could have any sort of superpower, it'd probably be like super strength, super speed or something, so that way it can make like the big leagues make a good amount of money, you know. It's not very humble, but yeah. So we'll go ahead and continue. Thank you for everybody that volunteered for the icebreaker questions here. So standards and objectives. So the standards for this lesson is just explaining multiple causes of a conflict, also analyzing how technological innovations and trade has affected economic development and transformed societies. The specific objective here is just to follow instruction, take note. You guys are going to be doing like the Nearpod, so that'll actually work out perfectly fine. And there would be like an annotated timeline of events for World War I. Don't worry, this is not for you guys. This is just, you know, in the future, maybe I'll use this in the future. So students will be able to analyze specific events that occurred before, during, and after World War I. So any assignments coming up, again, I am going to mention the annotated timeline. That's going to be 25 entries, 10 of which explaining the when, what, and why of an entry. Crash course assignment at the end of this thing, don't worry, you guys are okay for that one. And then a pop quiz on Friday. So a couple of vocabulary terms. These are kind of dumbed down specifically for this lesson. It's not to include anything that would happen beyond the causes of World War I. So we would have the Black Hand, Central Powers, Allied Powers, Trench Warfare, Nationalism, Militarism, Trench Warfare, League of Nations, and the Treaty of Versailles. Those are the main vocab terms for this lesson, and probably in the future too. So I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of time to discuss what is your most used object that you use, you know, on a day-to-day life. Let's see, it'll go to the next one here. Bear with me. There we go. All right, I'll give you guys a little bit of time to answer that one. Probably maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, okay? Okay, so this went exactly how I thought it would go. I'm a pretty average user on my phone, TikTok mainly. So I understand this one. Now I kind of want you guys to think to yourselves, where were phones about 20 years ago? For me, the Razr, it just came out, you know. I didn't have one, too young. And I'm pretty sure during, you know, Mrs. Kilmus's time, they had those little brick phones, maybe. Is that true? I hope so. I'm not trying to call you old, I promise. She's not old. Don't listen to her. So to think about how much phones have evolved in the last 40 years is kind of similar to what Europe would be like following the Industrial Revolution. So following the Industrial Revolution, this is kind of what a map of Europe would look like. So it's not the whole globe. I wish I would have found a picture for it, but the main empires during that time would be the British Empire and the French Empire. They would control a lot of land in Africa, pretty much around the world. However, throughout Europe, there were also some major empires as well. The German Empire, the Austria-Hungary Empire, and the Russian Empire. They would be major controllers during this time, especially with Germany as the new rising country at the time. Go ahead and go to the next one. So Europe following the Industrial Revolution, Germany being formed in 1871, the country would quickly become an empire following intensive economic growth that would allow them to expand and grow. This would lead to them also expanding their navy to compete with Britain, with militarism, and also the formation of the Central Powers with Austria-Hungary. Later would be joined by the Ottoman Empire a little bit later in the war. So the growth of industries, not even just for Germany, would also allow the British and the French Empire to expand. Can anybody take any sort of guess as to what industries you guys think would grow during this time period? Give you a hint. Exports, weaponry, all kinds of, all that cool stuff, you know. So the rapid growth of these empires gave them a sense of nationalism, basically that their country was the best country and it was their job to do whatever they could to increase their power and influence throughout the globe. So pretty much, yeah, that's about it. A bunch of countries ended up getting like a big egos at the time. It's my best way of explaining it. The big country that would do it would be Britain. So I kind of want us to look at this political cartoon and try to dissect it a little bit. If you guys can take a look. What are some things that we see on this cartoon here? And it can be just tiny things. You can point out the flag, you can point out the dogs, all of that. Can someone volunteer for me? What's up?
All the dogs have states names on them.
Yes, they have countries on them. So the countries on here, we have New Zealand, South Africa, India, Canada, and Australia. This one has Britain. Can you guys tell me something that's different with this dog than all the other dogs? It's bigger, yes. The reason why it's bigger is obviously because it's the controlling power. Do you guys notice something that's in common with all the smaller dogs? They're all guarding. They're all part of the Commonwealth of Britain at the time. So pretty much the question it's asking is, are we afraid? No. I think it's easy for them to say that because they have all that protection. You know, all that land, all those resources, everything that contributes to that dog getting bigger. So let's go ahead. We're going to do a slight 3-2-1 on the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. Just like it was pointed out earlier, he was assassinated. That would cause a really big reaction from Austro-Hungary. So something about Franz Ferdinand before we get started on this. Dude was not liked. They didn't like this guy at all. Nobody liked him except for like maybe one person. His own uncle didn't like him. Can you imagine how weird that would be at Thanksgiving, right? If they celebrated it. But pretty much the only person that would support this guy would be Kaiser Wilhelm II. He was in charge of the German Empire at the time, and the reason why nobody liked him is because he was a moderate. He supported the ideas that the Serbs should be united. That was not something that was very popular at the time, okay? So we're going to go ahead and go to this next one. One sec.
Click the arrow.
There we go. So I want to give you guys probably about 5 minutes. What we're going to do in those 5 minutes, we're going to read this document that's going to be attached, and I want you guys to come up with 3 main details that you've noticed from that document, 2 things that you're thinking, and 1 question that you may have from it, okay? All right, 5 minutes, 3, 2, 1. Oh.
Just press start activity.
Let's-
Again, but there you
All right, 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's my first time, sorry guys. Also a reminder, if you guys, just to help you with formatting, if you want to copy paste the 3, 2, 1 from the top down to where you're submitting it, just to make it a little bit easier for you guys. That would be a good idea. So. We got a little bit under 2 minutes, just as a reminder for you guys. All right, so I have a quick question. Do you guys feel like that was enough time to read the documents and answer the question? Do you guys think you would need a little bit more time for that? Is everything okay? Just want to know so that way I know to give the future class more time to complete the document. So, oh, never mind. Dang, that jumped. Went from like 20% to 80. All right, you guys are amazing. Thank you. So we're gonna read a couple of ideas, just a few of them, just to see, you know, what you guys are thinking. There we go. All right. So 3 main ideas. The Duke was warned to leave the country. Yep. The Duke visiting Bosnia was looked at as an insult, and the assassin was 19. Okay. Let's see. Another one. The road to maneuvers were shaped like a V. Okay, and then we got making the shape turn the bridge over River Nigalka? Sorry. There's a reason I'm a history teacher, not an English teacher, sorry. All right, let's see the next one here. Was forced to escape. Serbian kingdom was conquered by the Turks. Assassin was 19, yeah. He was pretty young. Okay, France was described as an oppressor. A few failed attempts to kill friends, yes. You know, fun part is that, not fun, sorry. So he was driving a little, you know, parade, and the failed attempt, and he's like, oh, well, I think I'm gonna go visit the guy at the hospital. Next thing you know, bad things, yeah. There we we go. Oh, there it is. So we'll go ahead and go on to the next one here. So now to the causes of World War I. So Austria-Hungary would annex Bosnia, separating the Slavic population of Bosnia and Serbia. And this was something that was opposed by Franz Ferdinand, who wanted the Slavic people to be united. And that would lead to his assassination by Gavrilo Princip, who was a part of the Serbian group known as the Black Hand. Sounds like the Illuminati. That's crazy. In retaliation, 1 month later, Austria-Hungary would impose an ultimatum that was probably almost impossible to actually meet, leading them to declare war on Serbia. Now, something about Austria-Hungary is that they essentially had a blank check by Germany, declaring that they would support them no matter what throughout this war. So whenever they declared war, Germany would follow almost instantly. Russia felt the need to support Serbia due to an agreement that they had as well. That would also bring in France, because they had a little pact as well from the Franco-Russo pact a few years before. That would allow them to support Russia as well. So, Germany. Now, with France and Russia both declaring war on Germany, this would bring in a two-front war. So they had an idea called the Schlieffen Plan. They would recognize that they obviously can't fight a two-front war at the same time. They figured that Russia being so big would be clumsy and slow to mobilize. So they felt like the best idea would be to invade France, take out the French, and then fight Russia. To do this, they had to go through Belgium. Oops, probably should have made that bigger. Oh no. There we go. So they would have to go through Belgium, and that would actually bring the UK into the war. So yeah, that's essentially how all three of them got involved against the German Empire and Austria-Hungary. So that's about it as far as the causes to World War I. Is there any questions that you guys may or may not have? Okay, so at this point, you know, if I were to teach a class, I would actually have a crash course assignment with a questionnaire. But for now, I'm actually going to hand this off to Mrs. Comas, and she's going to take it from here to, you know, help you guys finish your assignment that she gave you guys yesterday. So, all right, thank you. I appreciate all of you guys for your participation. This is my first time doing this. I don't know if I look like a nervous wreck, but I'm pretty nervous. I practiced in front of a mirror last night. It's crazy. My wife looked at me. She's like, why is he talking to himself? But thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right.